I believe the report was corrupted. Time does not forgive mistakes. When a future disappears, so does the life attached to it. That is the oldest law of existence. Humans ignored it. I was there when our prediction engine screamed. Every possible timeline ended. Every branch collapsed. Every outcome became empty. The machines displayed one impossible symbol. Human vessel still approaching. I laughed. Not because it was amusing. Because fear had not yet evolved inside my species. We only calculated. We measured. We accepted. That was enough. Or so I believed. My name cannot be translated into human language. Your mouths were never designed to produce harmonic gravity pulses. Among my people, I studied civilizations before they became dangerous. Most species followed beautiful equations. Pressure created surrender. Loss created negotiation. Isolation created extinction. Humans refused every equation. That confused me from the beginning. The first recordings were harmless. A damaged mining station. No oxygen. No rescue. 6 humans trapped. They should have conserved energy. Instead, they argued, then laughed, then repaired equipment with broken tools. One of them even painted strange symbols on the wall. My conclusion was obvious. Stress had damaged their minds. Hours later, they escaped. The report labeled it another miracle. There are no miracles. Only mathematics waiting to be understood. I archived the event. Then another arrived. A colony poisoned by fungal storms. Survival probability 0.0003%. Humans held a festival. Music echoed through toxic skies. Children danced. Adults built machines. The colony survived. Again. I corrected the database. Pattern detected. Humans celebrate immediately before death. An emotional malfunction. Nothing more. I was wrong. I remained wrong for many cycles. Every new encounter strengthened my confidence. Every conclusion became more incorrect. The Galactic Balance Council eventually summoned every senior observer, including me. Our chamber floated inside a collapsed star. Its gravity prevented deception. Even thoughts became heavy there. The council presented a single image. A human warship. Small. Old. Scarred. Its engines leaked radiation. Its armor carried thousands of impact marks. Its designation. HWS Perseverance. I studied the image. Primitive. Inefficient. Ugly. It should not survive modern combat. One elder asked the obvious question. Why is this vessel still active? Another displayed the casualty list. 7 pirate fleets. 3 autonomous hunter swarms. 1 artificial moon. Destroyed. By that ship. Silence spread through the chamber. Not emotional silence. Analytical silence. We searched for hidden variables. There had to be one. Humans always hid one. The council ordered direct observation. I accepted. Curiosity is our highest duty. Fear did not exist. Not yet. Our observation fleet entered the Perseus expanse. Sensors immediately detected the human vessel. It drifted quietly. Power levels low. Weapons inactive. Hull temperature falling. Perfect. Weak prey. Exactly as predicted. Then another fleet arrived. The Vorix Dominion. Even humans feared them. Organic battleships. Living armor. Acid projectiles capable of melting moons. The Vorix commander transmitted one message. Surrender your vessel. No reply. Interesting. Humans often remained silent before destruction. Another pattern. The Vorix fired. 300 plasma lances. Enough energy to erase continents. Every calculation predicted total annihilation. Instead, the beams vanished. Not reflected. Not absorbed. Not blocked. Gone. Space itself forgot they had existed. Every sensor failed simultaneously. My assistants checked for equipment errors. None existed. The Vorix fired again. Missiles. Antimatter torpedoes. Gravity spears. Quantum disassemblers. Nothing reached the ship. Everything disappeared. Like rain entering invisible fire. Confusion entered my calculations. Impossible. The human vessel had no detectable shield, no distortion field, no defensive emissions, only silence. The Vorax panicked first. That surprised me. Predators rarely panic. They increased firepower. Their weapons glowed hotter than newborn stars. Thousands of projectiles crossed the void. The result remained identical. Nothing touched the ship. The Perseverance continued drifting, as though battle itself bored it. I produced my first emergency hypothesis. Hidden dimensional armor. Probability. 43%. A second hypothesis. Localized reality displacement. 32%. A third. Unknown physics stolen from extinct civilizations. 20%. None satisfied the evidence. Then the human ship moved. Slowly. Almost lazily. Its engines barely illuminated. No acceleration burst. No tactical formation. It simply approached. The Vorax retreated. That confused me more than disappearing weapons. Why flee from something moving so slowly? Then I examined historical combat records. Every enemy that retreated lost faster. Coincidence. Surely coincidence. The distance closed. Still no human transmission. No threats. No victory speeches. Nothing. Silence. Again. Another pattern. Humans become quiet before impossible events. I noted it carefully. The Vorax launched boarding organisms. Millions. Living creatures bred only for invasion. They surrounded the human hull, then stopped moving. Every organism froze. Not dead. Not alive. Waiting. Seconds later, they all turned around. They attacked the Vorax instead. Impossible. Biological loyalty cannot reverse without command. Unless humans emitted neurological control signals. Yes. That explained everything. Satisfied, I finalized the report. 5 minutes later, my report became worthless. The boarding organisms ignored every nearby human. Instead, they dismantled only Vorax weapons. Nothing else. No engines. No crew. Only weapons. They behaved with terrifying precision. No known control signal allowed selective instinct editing. I deleted the report. Again. My assistants avoided looking at me. Among my people, embarrassment is expressed through lowered gravitational frequency. The entire bridge became heavy. Then something happened that none of us expected. The human ship finally transmitted. One sentence. Soft. Calm. Almost kind. We're still trying not to hurt anyone. The Vorax answered with another barrage. Every weapon disappeared. Again. The human ship sighed. Humans produce strange sounds. They waste breath expressing invisible emotions. I assumed frustration. Another emotional malfunction. Another mistake. Because the moment that sigh ended, every inactive weapon across the entire Vorax fleet quietly fell apart. Not exploded. Not melted. Not damaged. Each weapon simply became useless, as though every machine had suddenly forgotten it was ever designed to kill. That was the first moment. I wished fear had never evolved inside any species. I had no word for what I witnessed. Our language divided the universe into two categories. Possible. Impossible. The human warship existed somewhere between them. The Vorax commander did not retreat. That fit my model. Predators mistake confusion for weakness. He ordered every reserve fleet into the battle. Space opened. More living warships emerged. Hundreds. Each larger than the last. The stars disappeared behind their bodies. For the first time, the Perseverance looked small. I felt relief. Numbers favored certainty. Mass won wars. Energy won wars. Quantity always won wars. Humans would finally obey mathematics. The Vorax charged. The human ship did not. It waited. Again. Another pattern. Humans delayed action until the final possible moment. Cowardice. Obviously. I stored the conclusion with complete confidence. It would become another mistake. The Vorix surrounded the ship. No escape vector remained. Gravity traps activated. Warp corridors collapsed. Every dimension folded shut. Even light struggled to move. No vessel had ever escaped such a cage. The human engines powered down. I almost admired their acceptance. Then every Vorix sensor began reporting different distances. One captain claimed the human ship was beside him. Another insisted it remained thousands of kilometers away. A third screamed that it had already passed through the fleet. None were lying. None agreed. Reality itself had lost confidence. Our instruments demanded emergency recalibration. I refused. Instruments do not hallucinate. Scientists do. I trusted the machines. The machines were terrified. Warning after warning flooded our bridge. Spatial contradiction. Causal instability. Reference frame collapse. Those phrases had never appeared together. My assistants whispered. That disturbed me more than the alarms. My species never whispered. Whispering implied uncertainty. Uncertainty implied fear. Fear implied survival. We had believed ourselves beyond such primitive instincts. Humans kept proving otherwise. The Vorix fired synchronized singularity cannons. Their greatest weapon. Miniature black holes bloomed across the battlefield. Stars bent. Time stretched. Even my thoughts slowed. Nothing should survive inside that storm. Nothing. When the distortions faded, the Perseverance remained exactly where it had been. Untouched. Not a single scratch. One Vorix battleship vanished instead. No explosion. No wreckage. Simply, gone. Its place became empty. History itself hesitated. Every archive aboard my vessel suddenly disagreed. Half our records claimed that battleship had existed. Half insisted it never had. Crew members argued with memories they had possessed only seconds earlier. I checked my own logs. The file changed while I watched. Impossible. Data does not rewrite itself. Unless history had. I rejected the hypothesis immediately. History cannot change. History defines change. Humans broke definitions as casually as breathing. The Vorix commander roared another order. He demanded close-range assault. Living cruisers rammed toward the Perseverance. They reached it. Finally. At last. Something touched the human ship. Impact flashed across space. Victory. I almost celebrated. Then the scanners completed their update. The ships had collided. With each other. Every single attacking vessel had somehow missed the only target in front of them. Their own formation became wreckage. The Perseverance drifted between the explosions. Slowly. Patiently. Like it had expected this outcome all along. I created another theory. Human predictive algorithms. They calculated enemy decisions before they occurred. Elegant. Reasonable. Comforting. Then a child appeared. Not physically. On an open transmission. A human child. She could not have seen the battle. She smiled anyway. She held up a drawing. It showed the Perseverance surrounded by strange figures. Some looked like humans. Others did not. Above them, she had written one sentence. Come home safe. I frowned. Military propaganda. Primitive morale ritual. It explained nothing. Yet every human frequency aboard the warship erupted with similar messages. Families. Friends. Voices. Songs. Old recordings. Laughter. No tactical information. No battle commands. Just people waiting. My first officer calculated the bandwidth. It consumed valuable military resources. Ridiculous. Humans weaken themselves with sentiment. That had to be the answer. Emotions clouded judgment. Every advanced civilization knew this. Then the Perseverance accelerated. Not quickly. Not dramatically. Just enough. It slipped through the shattered Vorix formation. Never firing. Never chasing. Never striking. Only moving forward. Straight toward Vorix command. The enemy fleet desperately repositioned. Every path they chose became the wrong one. Every interception failed before it began. It looked less like strategy. and more like inevitability. That word haunted me. Nothing should feel inevitable. Not in war. War is probability. Humans turned it into certainty. A transmission reached our observation vessel. Direct. Encrypted. Human origin. My captain froze. No one answer. We all agreed. Contact contaminated observation. We existed to witness, not interfere. The transmission repeated, then translated itself into our language. That was impossible. No human had ever studied our harmonic grammar. The message contained only 6 words. We know you're watching, observer. Every eye turned toward me. How? Our fleet had remained invisible, hidden behind folded vacuum layers. No emission. No movement. No signature. The Perseverance should have been blind. Unless... No, I refused that path. The universe still possessed rules. It had to. The message continued. Please leave before they arrive. Who? The Vorax? Impossible. They were already here. I searched every sensor. Nothing new. Empty space. Then the stars blinked. Not all of them. Only the ones behind us. One after another. Darkness spread across the galaxy. At first I believed enormous objects blocked the light. Then I measured. The stars themselves had vanished. Entire systems. Gone. No explosion. No radiation. Nothing. Silence expanded. Even the Vorax stopped fighting. Every fleet stared into the growing darkness. Our long-range telescopes finally resolved its edge. It was moving. Not through space. Across existence itself. Erasing. Consuming. Advancing. My captain whispered a forbidden question. What is that? No database answered. No archive contained even a myth. The Perseverance transmitted once more. This time every species received it. No encryption. No threats. No panic. Only quiet exhaustion. We told you not to shoot. Confusion spread through every fleet. The sentence made no sense. What did the darkness have to do with weapons? Nothing. Obviously nothing. Cause and effect demanded logic. Humans rarely supplied any. Then I noticed something that froze every thought inside me. The darkness was not chasing the human ship. It was following the path left behind by every weapon the Vorax had fired. Every vanished missile. Every erased beam. Every impossible attack. They had not disappeared. They had gone. Somewhere. And whatever waited in that somewhere had finally found the way back. I understood the truth too late. The missing weapons had never been destroyed. They had been redirected. Stored. Hidden. Locked behind a wound in reality. Every attack against the Perseverance had weakened the lock. Every desperate volley had widened the fracture. The Vorax had believed they were fighting humans. Instead, they had been firing at the door. The darkness crossed another star system. It did not explode planets. It erased them. One moment they existed. The next moment, every memory attached to them began to fade. Navigation charts changed. Historical records rewrote themselves. My own childhood atlas became blank. Entire civilizations vanished without leaving graves. That frightened me more than death. Death leaves evidence. This left absence. The Vorax commander finally understood. He ordered an immediate retreat. Every ship turned. None escaped. The darkness reached the rear formation. The living battleships did not scream. They simply stopped having ever existed. Even their fleeing wake disappeared. My tactical display lost hundreds of icons. Then hundreds of names. Then hundreds of histories. My crew stared at one another. Who were we fighting? No one answered. No one remembered. Only the Perseverance continued forward. Calm. Steady. Almost patient. Again I reached the wrong conclusion. The humans were fleeing. Cowards until the end. I believed it with complete certainty. Then the human warship turned around. Directly toward the darkness. Every calculation aboard my vessel rejected the maneuver. Survival probability. 0. The humans increased speed. Not away. Toward extinction. Toward the impossible. toward the thing that erased futures. The transmission channels opened across the galaxy. A tired human voice spoke. Not a soldier. Not an admiral. An old woman. We're sorry. The entire galaxy listened. We promised never to let it out again. Again? My body became cold. No species had ever spoken of this thing. Except humanity. The woman continued. It isn't your enemy. It isn't alive. It isn't dead. It is what's left when enough civilizations choose destruction. I rejected every word. Concepts cannot hunt. Consequences cannot consume stars. She kept speaking. Long before any of you reached space, we found it. We survived it. We built prisons around it. We swore nobody else would ever have to know. Every bridge across every fleet fell silent. My species had searched the galaxy for millions of cycles. We believed humans were young, primitive, late arrivals. Yet somehow, they spoke like ancient guardians. The old woman sighed. We hoped you'd stop shooting. No accusation. No anger. Only exhaustion. The Perseverance accelerated again. Its engines glowed brighter than any star. For the first time, weapons emerged from its hull. Thousands of them. The Vorax screamed warnings. I prepared for the greatest attack in history. It never came. The weapons detached. One by one. They floated into space. Inactive. Harmless. I did not understand. Then they transformed. Not into missiles. Into anchors. Gigantic machines unfolded across reality itself. Each anchor locked onto the expanding darkness. The advance slowed. Barely. But it slowed. The human fleet appeared. Not hundreds. Not thousands. Millions. Every direction filled with human ships. Old ships. New ships. Cargo vessels. Mining craft. Hospital ships. Civilian transports. Anything capable of flight. They formed a wall. No orders. No hesitation. Every human had arrived. I searched for their battle formation. There wasn't one. Another mistake. Humans did not organize around tactics. They organized around each other. The darkness struck. The first line vanished. Thousands of human ships disappeared. No explosions. No debris. No final messages. Only empty space. The second line moved forward. Not forced. Not commanded. Voluntarily. Another wave disappeared. Another line advanced. Again. 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 I finally recognized the pattern I had misunderstood from the beginning. The laughter before impossible missions. The festivals before disaster. The quiet before battle. The refusal to surrender. None of it was denial. None of it was madness. Humans accepted fear, then walked through it anyway. That was their secret. Not stronger bodies. Not impossible technology. Choice. They chose courage repeatedly. Even when reason demanded surrender. The anchors began failing. One after another. The darkness broke them apart. The wall collapsed. The old woman returned. This is as far as we can hold it. A younger voice interrupted. No. Silence followed. Then another voice. Then another. Then thousands. Then millions. No. The word echoed through every frequency. Every human ship changed course simultaneously. Not toward safety. Toward the center. Toward the wound. I finally understood. The prison had never been built from machines. It had been built from people. Generation after generation. Watching. Waiting. Sacrificing. The Perseverance reached the center first. Its captain spoke only once. Close the door. Every remaining human vessel accelerated. They disappeared into the fracture. One after another. Millions of lights entered the darkness. The wound began shrinking. The impossible thing fought. Stars trembled. Time fractured. Entire constellations flickered. Then, silence. The darkness vanished. The missing stars returned. History stopped changing. The galaxy breathed again. Where the human fleet had stood, nothing remained. No wreckage. No signals. No monuments. Only the scar between the stars. Weeks later we searched. Months later. Years later. We found no trace of the Perseverance. Official records declared humanity extinct. I rejected the conclusion, because I had learned one final lesson. Human stories never ended where logic said they should. Centuries passed. New civilizations rose. The galaxy rebuilt. Children asked why every species lowered their heads when speaking of Earth. No one gave the same answer. Some called humans guardians. Others called them fools. Others called them myths. I called them the greatest error my people ever made. Not because we attacked them. Because we never understood them. I once believed humans celebrated before death. I was wrong. They celebrated because they had already decided that if someone had to face the impossible, it would be them. Sometimes, when our deepest telescopes stare into the oldest darkness beyond the edge of mapped space, we detect a single, scarred vessel drifting where nothing should survive. Its engines are weak. Its armor is broken. Its future cannot be calculated. Its designation still appears for only a fraction of a second. HWS Perseverance. And every time I see it, I remember the impossible truth that began my nightmare.